All right, ways to save money for your nomadic lifestyle that you have been dreaming about in 2025. How can we make this possible? This is part 2, so let's get into it. So how are people starting out with this van life or nomadic life? Where are they getting all this money from? Because I don't know. But I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it. My future self is going to really appreciate the fact that I've done what I'm getting ready to tell you. So let's get started. I got my handy dandy notes. All right. First thing I want to say is one of the basics, and you don't really think about it, but for me, and if you're following, fine later on. I'm a really good gift giver when it comes to stuff like that. Like for other people, I don't mind spending the money. When it has to do with me, I'm extremely frugal. So there's this weird balance. For other people, I'm good. For me, I will look outside the box to try and save money. And that's what I've done. So for the first thing, that's going to be pretty obvious is I've been saving change for quite some time. So I took some pictures. I haven't gone to the bank yet to do it through the coin thing. I don't go to Coinstar, and I haven't gone anywhere, but I'm going to go to my regular bank that does not charge me a fee so that I can cash that in, because this behemoth, hands down, $100 to fill it up every time. So, I got to worry about when I'm driving, how much is this going to cost me, because I got to go cross country and back. So it's going to be I'm anticipating, it's going to be a pretty penny. So I'm just trying to look in every direction to do the very best I can to consolidate money without it being this big dramatic thing like, how am I getting all this money? So little things are adding up for me. And so the one is the change that I've been saving. And later on, I'll get into, what it was when I take it to the bank, how much this thing was. I'll do like a separate video because it'll take me too long to do it to add it into this one. But later on, I'll let you know. But I did take pictures and I weighed it so that like how this thing, because, it's kind of heavy. Anyway, so that's the first thing. The first thing is just my change. So when you see that people are just dropping change and it's all over the ground, guess what? I'm that person picking it up. My husband even brings me change, and he'll wipe it down with like a wipey and and give it to me, and I just throw it right in the bank. I throw it in our little coin bank. That's what I do. So that's the first thing is don't sleep on this change, because it all eventually adds up. So that's number one. That's my first tip. My second tip is going to be, all right, here's a weird one. There was somebody that was coming around, and they would go around and take everybody's cans out of their trash. Now, okay, that's not me, but I keep my own cans. So I bought a can crusher, and it cost me $13. There's a reason why I'm going to tell you the amount in a second. And so I told my husband, I was like, well, if somebody's already taken our stuff in and they're cashing it in, then why can't I do that? And he's like, it's going to take you a lot of cans. I used to do it when I was younger, and we would go in with like garbage bags full of cans. And he's like, it's just the two of us, and I better not catch you around the neighborhood taking people's cans. No, I'm not doing that. Because I rinse ours out and everything. So, and I have like a little system which I took pictures of, and I will insert that also. I must have saved cans for like, I don't know, it must have been like maybe 6 months, right? And my husband's like, you're not even gonna cover the cost that it cost you for the can crushers, because as boys, we used to go with bags, like big garbage bags full of them. And I didn't have big garbage bags. I just had like one. But it was my little effort, and I know what I'm doing it for, so why not? we recycle it anyway. So I'm doing it. So I took it, and the place only wound up being like 5 minutes from where we actually live. So it made it like really easy. I took it in, I waited. There was like lines, like people had all kinds of stuff, like washers and all this stuff, just they're doing this. This is like their like thing. But for me, I just have like our cans. So I took them in, and he weighed them. And the next time I go, I'll take video of that and I'll show you. He weighed them, and after all that effort of like 6 months, I wound up getting $15. And so it was $15. But, and my husband laughed, and I said, but you know what? I covered the cost of the can crusher. So there you have it. That's my first attempt. So he thought, again, he thinks I'm goofy. He's like, why are you doing this? But I said to him, to be quite honest, I said, if you saw $15, just laying out in the middle of nowhere, would you just walk by it and not pick it up? And he was like, no, I'd pick it up. I go, well, this is me picking it up. And that's my mentality. So it's like $15 that could get me a meal somewhere when I'm out, on the road doing something. It could get extra things for like Fifi. It could be for anything, but it's going to go somewhere else in a second when I get to the next category. But again, let's go back to the recycling place. So then I find out that obviously they take other metals, right? So here's what I started doing. We had, our furnace wasn't working. I don't know, the pilot light, something happened with the pilot light. And the guy, they fixed it, and he came up with this copper wire. And he was like, oh, we had to replace this. I go, can I have that? And he's like, yeah, sure. I said, yeah, I need to keep that. So when my husband got home, the copper wires are like this long. I go, can I recycle this? And he's like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but that's all you got. So then I was like, yeah. So I actually have like a little box, and I just have like, he took the lug nuts off of our van and replaced them with new lug nuts. I go, can I recycle those? He's like, I mean, I guess you could. It's like a different metal, but yeah, you could. So I was like, okay, that goes in the box. We have another vehicle that's older, and it's like a smaller van. It's a Ford Transit. It's like a 2013. Anyway, we use that one when we go back and forth to Florida. Anyway, long story short, we had to get the brake drums replaced, and we got the brake drums replaced. And so I asked my husband, I go, can I take that to the place and recycle it? He goes, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's metal. Sure, there's different degrees, there's different, the pricing's different. And I was like, okay. So I asked the guys to put those back in the van, the other van, because I was going to recycle those brake drums, right? Why not? I'm in it now at this point. For me, it's all about the manifestation of all of this, and I get into that on my other video, but I go into all of this, and it's just like, this is all for the greater good. This is what I'm doing. It's already stuff that we have, so that's what I'm doing. So one thing I could tell you is start looking at your recycling places if that's something that you'd be interested in doing. It's something that I'm doing because it just makes me feel good. Like every can that I crush is like, this is another one. This is another couple of pennies that's going towards the van. So that's how it motivates me, and it makes me excited. So definitely the recycling. And also we had a cargo carrier that was like older, and it was in our garage. I recycled that also, took that in there and got cash for it. So don't sleep on your recycling places, things that you already have that you would have replaced, or if they replace your parts in your car, ask them for those parts. Just get like a cardboard box and have them put them in there and tell them, I want my parts. End of story. So there's that one. Our next one, we're gonna go into purging. So we have things that we need to get rid of, because before we move from this location, we want to have different piles. So obviously, one is going to be to throw stuff out. The other one is going to be to donate, and then there will be things to sell. So there's going to be things that I will wind up selling on Facebook Marketplace. So when I do that, that money will go towards my 2026 big cross country adventure. So all of this stuff collectively will add up. But this is the effort that I'm putting into it. And this is what keeps the dream alive, to be quite honest. If I just sit around and think like, when am I going? I'm never doing this. All of this stuff is like a big drum roll for me, before I wind up heading out and doing this big adventure. So it just keeps me motivated and it keeps me excited. So Facebook Marketplace, I have quite a few things that I have to wind up selling. That will go into the pot for, again, the travel going west for the RTR. So that's another one. Okay. My next one, start incorporating your wish list for holidays and like your birthdays. If you celebrate, not everybody celebrates those, but if you do, start thinking about that and asking for things that would better, your situation for that travel. So, brainstorm that, put it on paper. What could I use? What have I researched? What have other people, YouTubers or whomever that did this, that raved about it, that you thought that would be perfect for me? Start putting that stuff on your list, your want list for those times. Now for me, I was already a step ahead, 10 steps ahead of my husband as far as like things that he could get for the van, because I was already buying it. Bang, bang, bang. Way too much stuff. I wound up getting too much stuff. Don't get too much stuff. Just don't do it. Later on, for example, once I can get to a point where I am monetized, and if I ever am, but I wound up buying so much stuff, and then some stuff I wound up getting for free, that I would like to wind up mailing to subscribers. But prices to mail things are crazy expensive, so to be monetized, that would actually help with the shipping cost of things. But I have things that are brandy new that I've never used, will not use, because I have either one of them, two of them, things that I bought that I forgot about. Things that, like, even for example, I had something happen to an Amazon order, and they told me I could keep the order and then they would reship me another one. And I was like, you sure? And they said, yeah, we're sure. So I said, okay, great. And let me tell you, that one thing was a portable camping stove. So I don't have one, I have two. Do I need two? No, I don't. So that's what I would like to do. I would like to be able to give some of these things away. I don't have a need for two camping stoves, to be quite honest. But like I said, when I get to that point, cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, back to the money saving things. Okay, so we've already talked about change, loose change, cashing that in. We've talked about recycling cans and metals that will get you that extra little bit of residual money. Get a folder, put it in there, write, whatever you want on there, that's your dream. Write that on there, because that's going towards it. That's what keeps you excited and motivated. It keeps your eye on the prize. So, my next one, and we also talked about how I'm going to purge and sell some stuff on Facebook. So I got time, because I'm not leaving until January 2026 as far as the out west trip. The next one is, if you can, get another job. Get a part-time job, get a seasonal job, get something. So for me, and I'm ahead of you. I have a couple of quick clips of me doing my 2 seasonal jobs for 2024 into 2025. One I've already left, the other I'm still at. So yeah, get that extra money. And then, if you can get that extra job. Now, again, all of these aren't for everybody, but these are just the things that I've done. And if you can, by all means, do it. Again, your future self will appreciate what you're doing now. So do the grind now, and then that way you live in the dream later. That's the best thing I could tell you. So every time I went in, and I got up to working 6 days a week, it was crazy. I was working days at the one job, nights at the other job. It got like kind of insane, actually. And I was like, oh my God. But eventually I had to give the one up. And plus the season was over, and I was just, my ankle was like, you're going to have to let one of these jobs go. This isn't working out for me. So I told my ankle, all right, we'll compromise, and I'll just do the one. Because I was doing like, 20,000 steps at both jobs every time. So it was a lot. It was very intense as far as like, what I was doing, like ankle wise, and constantly moving, and, at a fast pace. So if you can, get a second job or a seasonal job, to help supplement and take money from that and pay yourself first, so that this way you're going to have that later, and put it aside, because that's not money that you want to, that would go towards anything else. And most people, we just don't have it when we're working just that job. It's like, we got bills, we got shrinkflation, inflation. It's insanity. We don't know what the world is holding at this point in time with the current state of what our country's doing. Everything's crazy expensive. So do what you can, and save what you can. Okay, so my most exciting thing here. So, all right. So when I say that, if you can get that like extra added little job, just to, just to kind of throw money into this pot of what your dream is, because you're feeding that dream, right? So then what I did was I got this little book here. So it's my $1,000 savings challenge, but I'm going to exceed that. So now remember, this is all for me going to, out west, right? So in this booklet, I have, and I'll show you here. So I have some that are 40, but this is all of what's in here. So I have 16 of these sleeves that are 40, right? That's the amount. I have 6 that are 80, and I have 2 that are 120. And then when I'm done, it should be $1,400 in this binder right here. So what I was doing was taking money out once a month and adding it to this binder. So I folded it up, right? So here's my 40s, and I have some blank ones in here, obviously, because I'm still filling it. And then let me show you, let's get to, oh, we're still going, hold on. All right, this is what my 80 looks like. So see how there's just 2 40s on there? And then, obviously, because they're all in increments of 40. So now I have this one right here. Well, that looks really confusing with that backdrop, because these are stickers. And so that's what that looks like. So when it's all said and done, this will have, it won't be a $1,000 challenge. This will have $1,400 in it. So this will go towards my travel, right? That's what that seasonal work is doing. It's paying for some credit card stuff, and like things that I needed for the van. I was getting them, and I was just, getting what I needed. So this one for sure, yes. I pretty much don't really need anything. I mean, I'm in my 50s at this point. I kind of have everything I want. I don't really need anything. But what I do want is, so since I know I'm going out west, and you also need to think about what your destinations are. What's the purpose of you doing this? And like where you're going. So it all makes a difference. For me, the gift cards make sense because I plan on going out west, and I'm staying towards the major highways, and I plan on going to certain places, and certain stores aren't in different areas. Like on the East Coast, not everything is the same on the West Coast or in the South. So keep that in mind depending on where you're going. For me, this is all strictly, I'm going out west, right? So let's start. I told my husband, I said, now we don't really do a lot of fast food, but we do like Burger King's breakfast sandwiches. For whatever reason, we just love them. And I also asked him, I said, I need small increments because I don't want to have to keep writing on the gift card like, oh, I used $5. Now I got to do that deduction on every gift card. I'm not trying to do that. So I wanted them to be smaller in numbers, in increments. It just makes it easier for me. So here's what I can tell you right now that I have now. Remember, this didn't just start. I've been doing this for the past two Christmases. It was like, just get me gift cards, but specific gift cards because I knew what I needed for me. So for this one, I have like for here, and I wrote it down, I have 3 Burger King gift cards, right? And then now pretty much anywhere you go, you're going to find a Walmart. So I was like, okay, for sure, I'm definitely going to need some Walmart gift cards because whether you're east, south, north, west, you're going to find a Walmart. So again, small increments, $25. I should be able to get what I need, in their smaller increments. Once I'm done, I'm done. So for Walmart, I currently have 4 gift cards. I still have extra space in this booklet. It's not done. I actually have 4 more spaces, and I told my husband, I said, I want them all in Walmart gift cards. So that way, Walmart kind of has like anything that you need. So it's good to have. My next one, because remember, I'm going out west. So the purpose of my gift cards is for my needs. So the next one we have Cracker Barrel. My intentions are to definitely overnight at the Cracker Barrels that will allow me to stay overnight and to, give them business, and I can get breakfast and do what I need to do. So that's fantastic. So in this one, I have 13 Cracker Barrel. See, they're just there. I have 13 Cracker Barrel gift cards that are in increments of 25. I only have 4 more spots before this is full, but that's going to save me money in the long run. So think about that. When you have holidays and your birthdays and Christmases or whichever, start thinking about where you want it to go or what you want to do to help fund that. And that's even if you're still out, today. You're out there and it's like, when somebody says, hey, what would you like for your birthday or for Christmas? Like I said, if you have things that you have done that are a little unconventional that maybe other people didn't think about, by all means, let me know because I'm still dreaming of ways to be able to do this. So that's my ways of saving money for this lifestyle, whether you're trying to do it, whether you're in it. Those are my personal recommendations. Thank you. This video has run well over time. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the road.
Like and subscribe.
I'm here at part-time job number 1. Well, you can see the shirt. That's my 11:15 shift starting out. So I'm here 4 days a week. And then I've picked up 2 shifts at Sam's Club. Both of them have great benefits. As far as Amazon goes, it's nice. They pay weekly. Here currently they're paying $22, $25 or $75, something like that. So this is how I'm going to keep this van life thing going. I am at job number 2. My shift starts at 4 a.m. I'll be going into Sam's Club. I'm out here in the parking lot. As you can see, there's no customers out here because it is 3:48. So like I said, manifest it, do the things that you need to do to make it happen, and it will happen. But my future self will appreciate the fact that I'm doing this now, because the van has no mercy when it comes to that gas pump.